Welcome to another exciting edition of the Economy and Politics show. I'm Otu Abasebaseko. This one is critical as we'll be looking at the general elections in Nigeria coming up this Saturday. This election is crucial because other countries are watching Nigeria, a template for Africa and other nations, growing its democracy. This will be a test on resolve on how Nigeria wants to move forward in its democratic system. In this edition, we'll be looking at 5 key issues ahead of the elections, which is much talked about from the US, UK, and among ECOWAS nations. The first key issue is the campaigns. Note that 6 weeks ago, the presidential elections would have been held, but was postponed due to security concerns in Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno states. But now, with multinational efforts from the security forces, they've been able to quell the insurgent activities, and the election is ready to go. And so for the campaigns, it gave an opportunity for President Goodluck Jonathan of the People's Democratic Party and Gen Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressive Congress, who are the 2 major candidates for these elections, to intensify their campaign efforts and consolidate their strategies. For President Goodluck Jonathan, Lagos was the hotspot as he had a Meet the Youth Forum, a Showbiz Interactive, and also interactive session on sports development in the country. He also used the opportunity to visit Southwest traditional rulers and Yoruba elder statesmen. He also visited Yobe and Borno states, where he held rally sessions to reassure the northeastern region of his resolve to tackle insurgency and grow a strong Nigeria. For Gen Muhammadu Buhari, he had an international session where he addressed the Chatham House in UK and also visited states like Nasarawa, Imo, where he also mobilized support, assuring Nigerians of his resolve to move the economy forward. He also had sessions in Lagos where he met with artisans, with the women, and also interacted with youths and key sector leaders in the country. And so the build-up of campaigns from both major parties show how valuable this election is. And all hands are now on deck, and everyone will be watching who wins the 28th of March presidential elections. Next is security. This was the reason why the election was postponed. And now we can say categorically that the multinational efforts have been able to quell and really tackle the activities of the insurgents. From the BBC interview last week that President Goodluck Jonathan granted, it was clear that in 30 days he hopes that the insurgents will be crushed. He also reassured Nigerians that the government is ready to do everything necessary to protect all territories. Gen Muhammadu Buhari on his part commended the military for their efforts in tackling the insurgents and hoped that Nigeria will not lose any other territory again in the course of its fight against insurgents. For the military, they've done a remarkable job, which has been commended across the country, and it's expected that they'll continue to maintain the borders and territories across the country. This has given the Independent National Electoral Commission confidence to now say that it can conduct elections in all 36 states in the country come March 28. Let's move on now to a critical one. The Monetary Policy Committee will be having its meeting, and final key decisions will be made today in Abuja. The monetary policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria takes key decisions that affect cash flow and also the issue of currency. Amongst key issues that will be looked at is the election spending, the falling crude oil price which is affecting the economy, and of course, the key decision on interest rates. Key analysts believe that the interest rate will not be changed, as well as the CRR. But all this will become critical factors even as our country experiences a trying and challenging period where the current foreign reserve has fallen to almost $28 billion. Standard & Poor's, the international financial rating agency, has cut our outlook from B+ to BB-, citing political risk. Once again, showing how important these elections will be to Nigeria's political economy. And so we expect that at the end of the CBN MPC meeting and the decisions taken, we should have a clear track of monetary policy direction even as the elections begin this Saturday. To the very important aspect for these elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission is the electoral body conducting these elections. Their preparedness is very important because it puts everyone on track and gives everyone assurance that they know what it takes and they do what is necessary to ensure that this election is credible. The credibility, being free and fair, has become a very key issue that is resonating across the globe concerning this election. So for the chairman of the electoral body, Professor Atairu Jega, last week was an opportunity for him to meet with electoral monitoring bodies to state the guidelines for the elections. There he said INEC was ready for the elections and even articulated that so far the PVC, the Permanent Voters Card collection, which was at a low as at February, has increased remarkably to about 82% at the moment. But yet still 11 million Nigerians are yet to get their Permanent Voters Card, which is still a challenge. But having about 82% collection across the country will show a new level of political enthusiasm across the country and also determination by Nigerians to participate. We just hope that this collection, which is remarkable, will translate to Nigerians going to the polls on the 28th of March. Another issue that was being contested and debated was the card readers. And the card reader system is designed to ensure that technology improves how we conduct elections. It had been contested by various interest groups, political groups, and the INEC chairman has reaffirmed that the card reader system will improve the election process and it will go on. Already, sensitive materials and the card readers will be moved from tomorrow to various states in the country and ensuring that they are secured and accessible, not accessible to anyone. The card reader system was even challenged last week by the OPC militia led by Gani Adams, saying that this card reader system will not guarantee a credible election, and where they even said that the INEC chairman should be relieved of his duties. Not just the OPC militia, various other groups have challenged this system, but we are hopeful that the card reader system, after its mock test 2 weeks ago, which INEC assessed as successful, will play and show a huge success to ensure that this election is credible, because there's a lot at stake for March 28th presidential election. And now to the final part, which is the opinion polls. Every election across the world has opinion polls where pollsters, media groups, think tank groups, and research groups come up with polls and surveys showing who is the candidate that will likely win the elections. Just recently, Israel had opinion polls and went to had its election last week. Prior to the elections, the opinion polls showed that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was going to lose to Mr. Isaac Herzog of the Zionist Party. But surprisingly, it didn't turn out that way. And so when we look at the opinion polls at the moment, from the distribution and from the key ones we've seen, Eurasia, which initially said that President Jonathan was going to have a slim or narrow victory, changed its analysis favoring Gen Muhammadu Buhari. Also, a national think tank group that did its opinion polls in Nigeria came out with this result saying that Gen Muhammadu Buhari would win the presidential polls on March 28th. But for UK research group, it came out clearly saying that President Jonathan has a 13% clear chance to win the presidential election. It said President Jonathan win that election by a 13% margin. Also, we've also seen various other analysis by media groups, but from those three, we can see that this will be a closely contested election, and the opinion polls keep coming. Endorsements across the country, various groups have been endorsing candidates, saying that they will support this one because they believe that the candidate supports and stands for their ideals. And so we can see that this election will be very, very keen and will spark a lot of interest across the country. Expectations. The expectations are that this election will be devoid of violence. President Barack Obama addressed Nigerians to videos saying that he hopes that this election will once again show Nigeria's resolve to be leading country. ECOWAS has also stated its concern that this election will be free and fair, even United Nations and various other bodies. It is expected that all stakeholders will ensure that this election becomes a credible one. Even Mr. Femi Falana, the notable Nigerian lawyer, has warned that if the political risk is not mitigated, Nigeria risks having either an interim government or a military intervention. And I believe that this country doesn't need that at this time. We need to progress. Beginning of this year, we've seen the trends. In Greece, it was change from Mr. Samaras to Mr. Alexis Tsipras. In Israel, it was continuity for Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. So March 28th, will it be change or continuity? That will be the big question ahead of the elections. So, and that will be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics show. Join our new handle at Economy and Politics, where we discuss strictly economy and politics with clear data and analysis. It is one of the best and the first ever Nigeria interactive Twitter handle that gives you insight on economy and political issues in the country. Also visit our website, www.webtveng.com, where you get more updates as we count down to the elections. We'll be giving you a countdown from today to the election day coverage. Key to this is that you need to go and vote. If you're among the 11 million Nigerian voters that are yet to get your PVC, please go and do get your PVC, because your vote will count. And once your vote counts, it will make the difference. This is why we enjoin you all to be part of this great epoch-making moment for Nigeria. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely day.